Hi guys, welcome to Chidre's Tech Tutorials educational YouTube channel. If you scroll down, you find web design and development tutorials section. In web design and development tutorials section, you find jQuery tutorials playlist. If you click on view full playlist, you find all my jQuery tutorials where I am explaining jQuery in depth and step by step guys. In this video, I would like to discuss jQuery form events. jQuery form events are triggered on the change in status of a form control. When a form control status changes, jQuery form events are triggered. Let's understand one by one. We have focus event. Focus event is triggered when a form control gets focus. When a form control gets focus, focus event is triggered. Let's have a demo and understand. I minimize everything. I right click on default.html page, say open with the notepad. You can see that default.html page is open in the notepad. Its title is set to jQuery form events. There is a form. I have a label and a text box. I have a label and a password field. I have a submit button. Okay, I minimize it. Right click on default.html page, say open with the Google Chrome. You can see that default.html page is open in the Chrome. Title is set to jQuery form events, and we have text box, password field, and submit button guys. Now here I say $. I'm going to select input fields and add focus event, and here I'm going to call this anonymous function. When any input field gets focus, okay, when any input field gets focus, this function is executed. And here I'm going to say $. This means the input field which is in focus guys, current element, okay, dot. I want to apply the CSS style to it. And what CSS style I want to apply? I want to apply border of 5px solid green color. If I save it, go to browser and reload. Now no form element is in focus, but if I select, it gets focus. When I click on the form control, it gets focus, and you see it has the green border. Now if I click on this password field, it gets focus. So that is the meaning of focus guys. Okay, if I reload, no element is in focus. Okay, now if I click, it is in focus now. It gets a green border. If I press the tab key, the next element gets focus. You can see it has now green border. If I press the tab key, button is in focus and it has the green border. You can see that. So that is the meaning of focus state. The opposite is the blur guys. Blur event is triggered when a form control gets blur state. Okay, blur event is triggered when a form control gets blur. Now I am going to copy this and paste down, and here I say blur, and instead of green color, any form control is in blur state, it should have a red border. I save it, go to browser and reload. Now no form control is in focus, no form control is in blur state. When I select, you can see it is in focus, so the text box is now having the green border. If I press the tab key, what happens? When I press the tab key, this text box gets blur and the password field gets focus. So what happens? The text box is going to have the red border, password field is going to have the green border. I press the tab key, you can see the text box is now in a blur state, so it has the red border, and password field is in focus, so it has the green border. If I again press the tab key, what happens? The submit button is going to be in focus, so it is going to have the green border. Password field will be in blur state, so it is going to have the red border. See, password field also has blur state now, it is in a red border, and the submit button has the green border. So that is the meaning of focus and blur guys. Focus, blur, focus, blur. Understanding? I hope you guys have clearly understood the difference between focus and blur. Next we have select. Select event is triggered when you select the content of a form control. When you select the content of a form control, automatically select event is triggered. So for example, here I say select. When I select content of any input field, I want to display its value in the alert box. So I simply say here alert, and here I say $, this dot val. So there is a val function which is used to get the value of the control. So I am getting the value of current input field. okay, whose content I am selecting. I save it, go to browser and reload. Now here I say MANJU Manju. When I select the content, select event is triggered and we got the value in the alert box, that is Manju. If I say here Ram and I select, you see I am getting the value of this field Ram. That's what is happening here, getting the value of the field whose content we are selecting. So that is select event, guys. Next we have change event. Change event is triggered when the value of the farm control changes. When the value of the farm control changes. So here if I say change, okay, now what I do, I'm going to delete this submit button. Later I'm going to add it. I save it, go to browser and reload. Okay, see what is the value of this input box? Empty. If I say here MANJU Manju and if I hit the enter key, the value of this input field becomes Manju. So value changes, right? When the value changes, change event is triggered. So I got the value Manju here, right? I'm getting the value of the input field whose value we are changing. Very simple, right? So if I say okay, if I say here Ravi, nothing happens. If I hit the enter key, then it gets the value of Ravi. That is the meaning of change. Okay, so change event is triggered when the value of the farm control changes. Next we have submit. Submit event is triggered when you submit the form, guys. Okay, submit event is triggered when you submit the form. So here I say form. If we submit the form, simply I want to display here form SUBMITTED submitted. So for that I can use here input type is equal to SUBMIT submit. I'm adding the submit button again, which is used to submit the form, right? I save it, go to browser and reload. Now check out what happens if I click on the submit button. If I submit the form, then you can see I got the alert box saying form submitted. So when you submit the form, automatically submit event is triggered and inside function is executed. It is telling alert form submitted, guys. Okay, so if you want, you can get the value of this text box, you can get the value of the password, you can display or do anything when you submit the form, guys. So that is about the submit event. Okay, is triggered when you submit the form, guys. I suggest you people to try all these form events. If you have any doubts, do not hesitate to put them in the comment section. I'll be happy to clear, guys. In the upcoming video tutorials, we discuss more about jQuery in depth step by step. For more benefits and be up to date, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep learning, keep coding, keep sharing. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.